Hi, I'm Gloria. Working at Bellissimo wasn't just a job. It paid my bills while I finished night classes in business management. 3 years of serving overpriced pasta to entitled customers had taught me plenty about human nature. But nothing prepared me for Maxwell Thornton. Hey, Gloria, heads up. Table 12 just got seated with Satan himself. Elena adjusted her bow tie in the service station mirror, her eyes wide with warning. Maxwell's here? Who screwed up the reservation system? He's not supposed to come on Tuesdays. Last-minute change. Derek is practically having a stroke in the office. I peeked through the kitchen doors. There he sat, Maxwell Thornton, tech billionaire and professional nightmare. His cold eyes scanned the restaurant like a predator. Is that him? The tech guy who made Marco cry last month? The new server, Tina, whispered beside me. The very same. Remember what I told you. Perfect service, no eye contact, and for God's sake, don't suggest the special unless he asks. The kitchen was already in chaos. Chef Marco barked orders with extra intensity, sweat beading on his forehead. If his steak isn't exactly rare plus, he'll shut us down. Move, move. Our manager Derek emerged from his office, straightening his tie. Gloria, you've got tables 9 through 14. Elena, you take... Wait, that means I have Maxwell's table. My stomach dropped. Derek looked at me with genuine pity. Sorry, rotation is rotation. Just be perfect, okay? For 40 minutes, everything went smoothly. I delivered his sparkling water with precisely 3 ice cubes. I recited the wine list without stumbling. I timed the appetizer and entree spacing to the minute. Then it happened. What is this? Maxwell's voice cut through the dining room noise like a blade. I turned to see him holding up his wine glass, examining it under the light. Is there a problem, sir? There's a smudge. He pointed to what might have been a microscopic fingerprint. Do you people not wash glassware properly? I'm very sorry, sir. I'll bring you a new... Don't bother. He set the glass down with a thud. Where's Derek? Derek materialized instantly. Mr. Thornton, is everything? Your staff is incompetent. This one especially. He jabbed a finger toward me. Does she know who I am? Do you know how many restaurants I've closed for less? The dining room fell silent. Every customer, every server watched. Of course, Mr. Thornton. Gloria is one of our best. I don't care. I want her gone. My face burned as Maxwell continued. You know I'm considering buying this place, Derek. First change would be staff with actual standards, starting with firing her. Derek looked at me apologetically. Gloria, why don't you take your break now? As I walked away, Maxwell's voice followed me. Actually, have her finish my table. I want to see if she can earn her job back. In the break room, Elena found me gripping the edge of the sink. That entitled jerk. You okay? Yeah, I wasn't. But something inside me had shifted. Fear was turning into something else, something dangerous. I returned to Maxwell's table with a forced smile plastered on my face. For the next hour, I played the perfect servant while he barely acknowledged my existence. After he finally left, I collapsed in the break room. Don't take it personally, Derek said, leaning against the doorframe. We all get the Thornton treatment eventually. Is he seriously buying this place? Derek's face went pale. How did you... He practically announced it to the whole restaurant. Derek closed the door. It's not final, but... Yeah, the deal's almost done. Look, I wasn't supposed to tell anyone until next week. What happens to us? From what I've heard about his other acquisitions, he'll keep maybe 20% of the staff. Rebrands the place, brings in his own people. My blood ran cold. He's done this before? At least 5 restaurants in the city. Just ask Marco, his buddy from culinary school went through it at Osteria. Later that night, I cornered Chef Marco as he was leaving. Tell me about Maxwell Thornton and Osteria. Marco looked around nervously. Why are you asking about that snake? Because I think we're next. He unlocked his car. Get in. This isn't for restaurant walls. Over late-night coffee at a diner, Marco filled me in. Thornton buys places, guts the staff, flips them with some trendy concept, then sells when he gets bored. My friend Paolo tried fighting back when it happened at Osteria. Thornton blacklisted him from every decent restaurant in town. There has to be something we can do. Like what? The man's a billionaire with an army of lawyers? The next morning, I started keeping notes on my phone. Times, dates, exactly what Maxwell said and did during his visits. The following Tuesday, he made a busboy cry over a water refill. Thursday, he screamed at Derek about the temperature of the dining room. Each incident, meticulously documented. "What are you always typing?" Elena asked after catching me updating my notes. "Evidence." Her eyes widened as I explained my growing documentation. "You're either brave or crazy. I'm in either way. We need more allies." "What about Mrs. Chen? She comes every Friday, tips like crazy, and apparently runs half the real estate downtown." Mrs. Chen was a legend, 70-something, always immaculately dressed, and rumored to be wealthier than most of our clientele combined. That Friday, I approached her table. "Excuse me, Mrs. Chen. Could I speak with you privately sometime?" She studied me over her reading glasses. "About Maxwell Thornton, I presume?" "Yes, I've noticed. Sit down, dear." For 30 minutes, she listened as I laid out everything. "Interesting. Very interesting. I've had my eye on this property myself. Perhaps we can help each other." Our coalition grew. Marco brought in kitchen staff. Elena recruited servers. Mrs. Chen provided resources and connections. Then disaster struck. I was updating my notes when a shadow fell across my table. "Quite the dedicated employee." Maxwell's voice froze me in place. "Always working, even on breaks." He plucked my phone from my hands before I could lock it. "What's this? A diary about me?" His eyes darkened as he scrolled. "You have no idea who you're messing with." He leaned in close, his voice barely audible. "I'm buying this place next week. And you? You'll never work in this city again. I'll personally see to it." Maxwell stormed straight to Derek's office, my phone still clutched in his hand. I followed, heart pounding. "Fire her! Today!" Maxwell slammed my phone onto the desk. Derek looked between us, visibly uncomfortable. "Mr. Thornton, I'm not sure I understand. Your waitress has been documenting me like I'm some lab experiment. Check her phone." Derek reluctantly scrolled through my notes, wincing occasionally. "Gloria, what is this?" "Just notes on customer preferences." I kept my voice steady. "For better service." Maxwell laughed coldly. "You expect anyone to believe that? Fire her, or the deal's off." After Maxwell left, Derek closed his office door. "I should fire you. But you won't. Give me one good reason. Because you know he's a monster, and once he owns this place, we're all screwed anyway." Derek sighed. "I'm putting you on different shifts when he's here. That's the best I can do." The next day, I met Elena at her apartment with Marco and Mrs. Chen. "He almost got me fired, but I'm still in." Mrs. Chen pulled out her tablet. "I've been making calls. Look what my investigator found." She showed us a document listing former employees from Thornton's companies and acquired restaurants, dozens of names, contact information. These people all have stories and they're willing to talk. Over the next week, I met with former victims. Javier, a chef who was fired after questioning food cost cuts. Sophia, an executive assistant who endured months of verbal abuse. Taylor, a sommelier who lost everything after Maxwell blacklisted him. "He destroyed my reputation over a wine recommendation," Taylor said, hands shaking around his coffee cup. 5 years of credentials gone. Would you testify to that publicly?" "In a heartbeat." We gathered at Elena's apartment again. Our group now doubled in size. Mrs. Chen took charge. "My sources tell me Maxwell is hosting potential investors next Friday at Bellissimo. He wants to show off his new acquisition before the deal is officially announced." Sophia leaned forward. "That's our chance. He always shows his true colors when he's trying to impress people." "We need concrete evidence," I said. "Stories aren't enough against someone like him." Taylor pulled out a small device. "What about these? Recording cufflinks. Perfectly legal in this state as long as one party knows they're recording." Javier nodded. "And I still have friends in the kitchen who can place cameras." The plan took shape. Document everything during the investor dinner, compile irrefutable evidence, and present it all simultaneously to the investors, media contacts Mrs. Chen had cultivated, and Maxwell's business board. The night before the dinner, I was closing the restaurant alone when Maxwell appeared from Derek's office. Big day tomorrow. Looking forward to showing my investors my new acquisition. The sale isn't final yet. His smile disappeared. It might as well be. You know, I could have overlooked your little note-taking habit if you'd just apologized. I have nothing to apologize for. He moved closer, blocking my path. Let me make something perfectly clear. After tomorrow, I'm going to personally ensure you never work in any decent establishment again. Then I'll start on your friends, that dramatic chef, the nosy bartender. I have the resources to make your lives very, very difficult. The recording device in my apron pocket captured every word. Is that a threat, Maxwell? It's a promise. When I'm done, you'll wish you'd never crossed me. The night of the investor dinner arrived. Bellissimo had never looked more perfect. Every table polished, every glass spotless. Maxwell's party of 8 took the center table, surrounded by his potential investors in expensive suits and designer dresses. Gloria, you're on Thornton's table tonight, Derek said, looking nervous. I thought you were keeping me away from him. He specifically requested you. Said something about finishing what we started. I straightened my uniform and touched the recording device hidden in my pocket. Perfect. Maxwell barely acknowledged me as I approached the table. The usual, plus whatever my guests want. He turned to a silver-haired man beside him. Charles, you'll love this place. Soon to be the crown jewel of my restaurant portfolio. For the first hour, everything proceeded according to script. I served flawlessly while Maxwell boasted about his business acumen. In the kitchen, Marco prepared the meals with surgical precision while activating our hidden cameras. The acquisition finalizes tomorrow, Maxwell announced over dessert. First order of business will be staffing changes. Quality control, you understand? A woman in a blue dress frowned. You're replacing the staff? The service seems excellent. Trust me, Vanessa, appearances can be deceiving. Take our server here. He gestured dismissively toward me. That was my cue. I stepped back and nodded toward Elena at the bar, who tapped her phone. The restaurant's lights dimmed slightly as the screens normally used for wine pairings activated around the dining room. Maxwell's voice filled the speakers. After tomorrow, I'm going to personally ensure you never work in any decent establishment again. Then I'll start on your friends, that dramatic chef, the nosy bartender. I have the resources to make your lives very, very difficult. Maxwell froze, fork halfway to his mouth. The screens displayed a montage. Maxwell berating staff, making threats, throwing a plate at a busboy. Each clip had a date stamp. Each showed his unfiltered rage. What is this? He stood up, napkin falling to the floor. The doors opened as Mrs. Chen entered, followed by local news reporters and several former employees, including Sophia, Taylor, and Javier. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Chen announced, I believe you're witnessing the real Maxwell Thornton, not the business genius, but the bully who destroys businesses and lives for sport. This is slander, Maxwell shouted, his face turning crimson. I'll sue every one of you. Actually, I stepped forward, holding up my phone. It's all documented, witnessed, and perfectly legal, including the threats you made against me and others, which, by the way, violates several harassment statutes. The silver-haired investor stood up. I think we've seen enough, Maxwell. Consider our investment off the table. One by one, the investors left. The reporters swarmed, cameras flashing. Within minutes, Maxwell's meticulously crafted public image was crumbling live on local news. 2 weeks later, we gathered at Bellissimo after hours. The restaurant was closed for a private celebration. Mrs. Chen raised her champagne glass. To the new Bellissimo under new ownership, with the same wonderful staff. Derek looked shell-shocked but relieved. I still can't believe you bought the place. I've always wanted a restaurant, Mrs. Chen smiled. And this one comes with a family I already adore. The door chimed unexpectedly. Maxwell stood there looking disheveled, a shadow of his former self. Gloria, please. 5 minutes. The room went silent. Your investors pulled out, The harassment charges are pending. Your business is tanking. What could you possibly want from me? To apologize. I was wrong. Maybe we can work something out. I walked up to him slowly, studying the desperation in his eyes. No, there's no forgiveness here. You threatened our livelihoods, our dignity, everything we built. You're only sorry because you got caught. Please, I'm losing everything. Exactly what you planned for us. Now you know how it feels. I turned my back on him. Elena, would you show our unwelcome guest out? We have a real celebration to get back to. What would you have done in Gloria's position when Maxwell tried to apologize? Was she right to show him zero forgiveness? Or do you believe everyone deserves a second chance, even someone who deliberately tried to destroy multiple people's careers? Share your thoughts in the comments. Would you have forgiven him or rejected his apology just like Gloria did? If you enjoyed this revenge story, please hit that like button to help others find it too. Subscribe to see more stories like this one and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching.